What makes you different, what makes you particularly strange, if you want to use another word, is your strength, is your source of power. But I've tried to tell people, everybody has it. You're just not listening to yourself. You've lost touch with who you are, the core of your being. I was one of those people who was a bit naive and didn't understand this kind of secret language that people in power have. It takes time. To do anything in life takes time and hours and patience and work. I recommend starting a journal and such, and writing down some of the things that I think are important to you. Well, people generally bring to anything in life their own psychology, their own mindset, right? So if you're already a shark type person, if you're already manipulative, you probably won't really need my book and you probably won't read it. But if you do read it, you go, yeah, that's right. That's how I operate. That's how life is. Okay. But for most people in this world are naive, like I was when I entered the work world. Most people don't understand the 48 laws of power. They don't understand that you want to talk less to appear more powerful. They don't understand the dynamic of making people come to you instead of always kind of foisting yourself on others, etc. And that naivete is what gets you into a lot of trouble in life, right? It got me into a lot of trouble. Law number 1, never outshine the master. I could sit here and cry and tell you all kinds of tragic stories about how I outshone the master and how miserable it made me, right? So I was one of those people who was a bit naive and didn't understand this kind of secret language that people in power have, right? So a lot of the book is opening it up, this world, to everyone, right? It used to be only white men of a certain age and a certain social background who had access to this kind of knowledge, who could have that kind of power. And it kind of pissed me off that it was like this secret that nobody wanted to share. I wanted to open up. I wanted to end all the hypocrisy. I wanted everybody to see that this is how things operate behind closed doors, etc. So I wrote the book to kind of reveal these secrets, right? The book is really I'm not trying to instruct the sharks out there and try to make people more manipulative. I'm trying to make you less naive in your life. And that was sort of the purpose behind the book. And since that's the spirit I wrote it in, it's interesting to see that that's the spirit that most people take it in. I get a lot of emails from readers, and most of the emails are, God, you opened my eyes up to something I never really thought about. This has really changed how I look at people and look at the world. It doesn't make me paranoid. It just makes me more aware of myself and what other people are up to. So that was sort of the motivation behind the book. Well, sometimes in life you just sort of fall into things. I didn't really intend when I was a young man, when I was 18 and dreaming of my future and being a writer, that this would be the kind of book that I would write. But my experiences in life kind of put me down a particular path. I learned certain lessons and such. And I was given this opportunity to write my first book, and I kind of drew upon all of my experience, all of the research I had done, all of my thoughts that had been going on. I was a bit old, I have to say, for writing my first book and having this career change. I was basically in my late 30s, so I had a lot of bad experiences. I had a lot of tough things that I had gone through. So that kind of informed me, and it kind of funneled into this book. It was sort of a mix of circumstance and good luck, and I was able to draw upon everything that I had learned and all of my skills in life. So sometimes you hit upon something, it feels right, like working in Hollywood, I was never comfortable. It didn't feel right. I'm kind of an entrepreneur at heart. I like working for myself. I don't like working for other people. I like to control what I do. Some of that's a bit negative, whatever, but writing this book, I could control everything. I was the master of my own domain. I didn't have people breathing down my neck, changing everything that I did. I was able to write about what I love, a subject that interests me. I was able to bring all my interest in history. I'm basically a failed novelist, so I'm able to now narrate stories in my own way, etc. It was like a perfect fit. And so going from that, I decided to kind of continue in that vein, But I don't want to be in the position which a lot of people make a mistake of in life, of constantly repeating the same successive formula. So a lot of writers who have a successful book, they then kind of make part two, they redo the same idea and they kind of recycle things because they figure, I don't want to disappoint my audience. I have to continue, pleasing them. They were pleased with the first one. I've always followed the laws of power, which is change things up, enter action with boldness, don't be afraid to do things differently, adapt your strategy to the circumstance. So every book represents a new challenge to me, a new subject, whether it's seduction or war and strategy or mastering a field or human nature kind of thing. And so it represents a challenge, but it also represents I get to use the kind of format that I've created that fits me so perfectly. I'm an extremely fortunate and blessed person. When I read the newspaper and I see how tough it is out there in the world and how hard people are right now in the particular climate of the work world, I just get down on my hands and knees and I pray that I'm so lucky and so blessed that I was able to land into this kind of perfect job for myself. Well, it's never too late. It's better to start earlier on in life. I mean, I wrote a book, Mastery, that deals with that subject, and I try and advise people. It's like the number one question I get is from particularly younger people saying, I don't really understand what my life's task is. I call that Mastery Your Life's Task. Please help me, Robert. The earlier you figure it out, the better off you are, but it can happen later in life. Now, I figured out at an early age that I wanted to write. I didn't know what I wanted to write, but I loved words and I loved writing. And if I didn't have that connection when I was 8 years old, all the way into high school and college, I would have been a lost soul. And I empathize with a lot of people who don't have that feeling when they're 8 or 18 or in their 20s. But I'm trying to tell people everybody has it. You're just not listening to yourself. You've lost touch with who you are, the core of your being. You're on social media too much. You're listening to what other people are telling you. You're listening to what your parents told you you should be doing in life. You're listening to what your friends think is cool. You're listening to what the culture is all about, the entertainment industry, etc. You got to cut all that shit out. You got to listen to yourself, and you got to be a bit bold, and you have to embrace what makes you different. I say what makes you weird because I know personally I'm a very weird person. If you saw me at home, you'd go, whoa, he talks to his animals like that. He's talking to his bottle of shampoo when he's showering. That guy's strange. I like it. I don't mind being weird. I use it to my advantage. I put it in my books. You have weirdness to you, whoever you are. Things that you might sometimes be a little bit ashamed or embarrassed or uncomfortable with, right? But you shouldn't be. What makes you different, what makes you particularly strange, if you want to use another word, is your strength, is your source of power. You've lost touch with it. Let's go back and try and find it. And that's the whole problem here. How do you find it? Well, it's a process. You have to be patient. It's not going to come like a light bulb in your head. I was meant to do this. I was meant to write the 48 Laws of Power. That's not how it works. It takes time. To do anything in life takes time and hours and patience and work. I recommend starting a journal and such and writing down some of the things that I think are important to you. So I like to tell people to go back to their earliest childhood memories of things that really excited them before they got mixed up with parents and teachers and all that, other people telling them stuff, Like for me, it was words and language. I just was entranced by the sound of language itself, right? It was like music to me. You had something like that. There's a book I recommend. It's a bit technical, but it's a brilliant book called The 5 Frames of Mind by Howard Gardner. The point of this book is that there are 5 forms of intelligence. We normally associate intelligence with intellectuals, with our Noam Chomsky, with Albert Einstein. And he says, no, intelligence comes in all forms. Working with your hands is a form of intelligence. A carpenter has a high form of intelligence. People who are sports, who are athletic, who use their body, that's another form of intelligence. There's music, there's math, there's language. You have one of these frames of mind. By the way your brain is wired, you are inclined towards one of them. Figure that out. If you are somebody who's word-oriented and you end up going into a field that's about math or about numbers, you're in for a lot of pain in life, right? So you've got to figure that kind of what I call primal connection to some kind of field. You have to look at the things that you love and the things that you hate, right? So early on, entering the work world, I figured out that I don't like working for other people. I hate to say it. Some of it maybe I'm antisocial. I don't know. I hope not. But I don't like working for other people. I don't like all the politics, all the crap you have to put up with. I realized early on, I gotta be working for myself, right? So what you don't like is very instructive to you, right? You're looking at things that are very powerful inside of you, that are emotional. They're not intellectual, they're thoughts. They're feelings, they're emotions. They're visceral things that you connect to, right? I've always been fascinated by our earliest ancestors. When I was 8 years old, I wrote a novel, probably the worst novel ever written in the history of mankind. And it was about the first human beings on the planet, and it was written from the point of view of a vulture watching these humans arrive. Stupid idea. But I was fascinated with early history of our origins, our roots, when I was very young. And that subject continues to fascinate me. If I ever read an article about Neanderthals and all the discoveries going on about their DNA, man, I could read that forever. It's so fascinating. You have something like that. I know you do. And I am completely egalitarian. I believe everybody has that. When I wrote the book Mastery, which is what this book is about, to prove my point that everyone has it, I interviewed contemporary masters. And one of them is the woman Temple Grandin, who was born with high-level autism, right? She was going to be hospitalized for her entire life. When she was 2 or 3 years old, she had the good luck of finding the right teacher who brought her out of her shell. And she eventually became a very respected professor of animal research, right? She's absolutely brilliant, and she also studies autism itself. If somebody with that kind of disability, that kind of thing, everything's stacked against her, if she can figure it out and reach mastery, then I certainly believe everybody has that potential. But I know it doesn't come easy. It's a process, and you have to be patient, but you have to put in the work.